stuff like the way they taught us in the academy.
Like the way they taught us.
And I did the same.
Like the way they taught us in the academy, you know, was just to make sure you grab firmly, right? Just make sure they got both their hands on the car and don't even wait for their permission. That. Just grab one, then the other. That's how they taught us in the academy.
Come on! What's the matter with you? There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
What it do, nephew? It's your Uncle Lou, and I'm coming at you with some that made me had to put on the color blue. Now, this video right here is coming from Unspoken Crime Red Rums. What happens when a police officer uses his badge to commit crimes and get caught? I'm not going to waste no time. I'm not going to leave no second thoughts. Make sure you hit that like button for the algorithm and your Uncle Lou. Make sure you share the video with somebody next to you. And then make sure you hit that subscription with that notification bell. Because we on the way to 10,000 subscribers in 2025. And I appreciate every single person that came on by. Man, y'all make this whole thing so swell, man. Now, without further ado, nephew and niece, it's your Uncle Lou, believe me.
We place our trust in law enforcement officers to protect and serve with integrity, upholding the law to its fullest extent. Body cameras were introduced to ensure transparency and accountability, capturing every interaction for the safety of both officers and civilians. But what happens when an officer chooses to disregard this critical tool, leaving their actions unrecorded and raising serious concerns? In this case, Officer Liam King reportedly violated this trust while on duty, conducting an invasive and unauthorized search on a woman in a public parking lot. According to the victim, Officer King allegedly groped her and made inappropriate remarks, all while dressed in full uniform and using his position of authority. Witnesses, including one who contacted the authorities, described the troubling interaction and questioned why the officer's department-issued body camera was never activated during the encounter. Now let's get into the interview where criminal detectives sat down with Officer King seeking answers about what really happened that day.
All right, we're here. You sure?
Yeah.
What? Okay. You okay?
Yeah.
Do you need anything?
No.
Frustrated?
Yeah.
So, you're not going to be forced to do anything you're not wanting to do. We are being recorded.
Okay.
Just to let you know. Okay. That is our on-body recording device. So just to kind of let you know.
Pretty loud. I'll turn it off again.
So yes, I'm the lieutenant of the special victims.
Okay.
Justin here is my acting sergeant. He's also a detective in the sex crimes unit.
Okay.
So the reason why we're involved is because the statements that was told was on an officer that inappropriately touched you.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why we're here. This is what we specialize in.
Okay.
So the process is going to be very simple. We just want to hear what took place, give us as much detail, and then we'll just kind of follow up on some questions.
Okay.
Before we start, is there any questions that you have?
No. So.
Okay.
So, before we go any deeper in this one seems to be like very, very touchy, you know, just to start off with this first one. I'm glad they're blurring it out, but like in any manner, that's unacceptable for an officer to do something like that, dude. Like, I don't know, man. It's despicable. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Can you tell me
They so vulnerable.
And then we'll go from there.
Okay, I don't know today's date.
Oh, that's okay. I don't have my watch. So it was this
It's
at
today,
the,
yes.
it was today.
Yeah. About I believe it was like around 6:00 p.m.
Okay.
I can get the exact time because actually, if you need the exact time, because I text my sister right after it happened. I text my sister, so.
We're going to go back to those in a minute. Just for the recording, I do want to confirm the information that was provided. And this is reference case number.
Okay,
They're blurring
I was
everything.
walking to the Dollar General on Lomas and Monroe. I had stopped before I got there. I stopped to smoke a cigarette, so I kind of sat on where you park, the little curb for the cars. I was sitting on one of those parking things. I was smoking a cigarette and I was on my phone, and I seen a patrol car, kind of pass me, and I looked at the building I was sitting at. I've been arrested for being on where businesses are closed, and I'm sitting on their property. So at that time, I was like, I looked back to see if the business was open. It wasn't. So I started to gather my things so I could leave the property, so I didn't, get harassed or whatever. Then I seen the patrol car turn around, and he started coming back towards me. His window was down, and he was turning in right as I was gonna walk across the street. I just was ignoring him, and he's like, "Hey, you want a cigarette?" And I was like, "Sure." So he pulled in, and he got out of his car. He went around to the passenger side, got a pack of cigarettes and a torch lighter, gave me the cigarette, and then he lit my cigarette for me. And he said, "You look familiar. Have I arrested you before?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think so." He's like, "That's strange. You have, I know faces." And I was just like, "So do I. And you've never arrested me before." And so then he was just making small talk. He said he was bored, that it was a slow night, and he was just bored if I would just talk to him for a little bit. And so I agreed to. I knew I didn't have any warrants or anything. I wasn't worried about anything, so I just agreed to talk to him. I was kind of like questioning where he knew me from too, so I had asked him if he worked around Cole and Yale, which is where I was staying recently, and he said yeah, and I was like yeah, and he's like, "Oh, okay," and he's like, "You're friends with Kimberly?" And I said yeah. This officer had been to,
So he's on it right now.
I
He
guess
knows
called
everything.
me by the landlord this week, and also in April there was a shooting at the house across the street where I was staying before, and he was also the officer that was called to the week before the guy got shot. He was harassing everybody, and they kept calling the cops on him, so he was the officer that kept coming out, and that's where he knew my face from, I guess.
Okay.
So I was like, "Oh, okay," and he's like, "Oh yeah," and so we were just talking and stuff. As soon as I mentioned where I stayed, where we knew each other, he immediately asked me, "Do you have any booze on you?" And I said no, and he's like, "Oh, do you mind if I search you?" And I was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Do you have a probable cause?" I thought we were just talking, And he said, "No, I'm just asking if I can search you." And he's like, "So you're not gonna let me search you?" And I was like, "I don't feel that there's a reason to." And so we just kept talking. We sat there talking for a good minute, just about random stuff. And again, he had asked me if he could search me again. Or actually, no, he wanted to run my name, because I said, "Oh, I don't have no warrant or nothing." And he's like, "Do you mind if I check?" And I said, "Sure." I remembered I had a non-extraditable warrant out of Sandoval County, and so I was like, "Oh, I have one out of Sandoval County, but it's not extraditable." And he brought it up. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Let me check the bail on that, the bond on that." And he told me it was $2,100. And we kept talking for a little bit, and then he asked to search me again, and I was just like, "Why?" And then he had made a statement like, "Oh, Kim lets me search her. I think she likes it though." And I was like, "I really doubt she lets you search her, and he's like, "She does, ask her." And I just shrugged it off. Then he said, "Look, I'm not going to look in your purse or anything. I'm just going to search your body." And he said,
Bro, what the heck? How are we even here? Why is he even doing all this? It's creepy as fuck. And she's entertaining it. Low key, she's entertaining. She could have left that. Why the fuck is he even offering you a cigarette? You know what I'm saying? Usually it's "Hey, do you have a lighter?" What the fuck? If somebody offered you a cigarette, you gonna still smoke it? You don't even know what the fuck's in it.
"I'll put your purse."
Now I'm getting
He's
mad.
like, "My lapel cam's off. So I'm going to put your purse on my hood of the car," which I gave him my purse. He put it on the car, and he asked me to put my hands on, his police car. And I did, and he's like, "You spread your legs." I spread my legs. He began the search. Immediately I felt uncomfortable. He was just like when he would search, like he was just going way too high on my leg, under my butt, my pride, like, you know, when he would go in between my legs, he was touching, you know, my vagina. He pulled my pants out and went on the, like, ran his 2 fingers on the inside of my underwear, like on the top of my panties.
Wow.
I've been searched a lot. I've never been searched like that at all, ever. And then he proceeded to tell me he's going to search my, you know, my bra, which, you know, to my understanding, they're supposed to use the back of their hand and just go under. He did that a little, and then he was like leaning over, and he pulled my like my bra out, so my boob was exposed. And I immediately took my hands off the car and like put my, you know, my hands on my chest, and I was like, officer, I don't think you're supposed to be doing that. And he said, please put your hands on the back of the car, you know, and so I did. And so he,
Wow, that is terrifying.
he went to the other breast, you know, and did the same thing. I had my money in there, and I did have a baggie on me that had like so like meth, but just like a few sprinkles, you know. It was just like an empty bag. And he's like, oh, you have a baggie, and I said, well, it's empty.
He needed something. That's all he needed. Once I heard that, I did have a little baggie. He got the one thing he needed as leverage, so he can hold that over her. He was knowing. He knew that she had something, and he was gonna use that to hold over her head, thinking that she wouldn't go and give this information away.
You know, it's just like an empty bag. And he's like, oh, you have a baggie, and I said, well, it's empty. He said, well, it's enough to field test. I'm not gonna arrest you though. Just, you know, make me a promise. If I'm not gonna arrest you, my lapel cam's off. If it was on, I would have to arrest you. I said, for that, there's nothing there, you know. And he's like, yeah. He's like, but just whenever you see me out, he's like, just be as nice to me then as you are to me now. I don't know what that. I guess me searching, letting him feel me. I don't know what he meant by that. I'm thinking that's what he meant. So then after he searched, I didn't like let him know anything that I was bothered or anything. I just said, okay, well, I'm gonna go to the store and I gotta get my cat's food, you know. And he said, okay. And he said, remember, you have to be nice to me next time. You know, every time you see me, you gotta be nice to me. And I said, okay. I went to the Dollar General, got my stuff, and then I walked home. My boyfriend then was like, I guess he had drove by and he had witnessed the cop searching me, because he was like, what's up with that cop? And he's like, why is he searching you? And I just like kind of looked at him like, what? You know, like, how do you know? You know, and then I went back out and I said, I started to tell him what happened, and he said, I know, dude. He said, I drove by twice. He said, I drove by and I told, he was with his friend Richie, he said, I told Richie, hey, that officer's not supposed to be touching her like that. He could see that, you know, he was doing wrong. You
So
know?
the boyfriend seen it.
I don't really want to pursue anything because I don't want any trouble out of this. I feel like I don't want, if nothing happens to him, like, I don't want him to come after me. Like, I feel like he would, you know, and he knows the area that I stay in, you know, so like, I just didn't want any trouble. Jessica, I can't look past this. Like, I have to call it in. And he's like, do you trust me? And I was like, yes. And he said, okay. And he's like, we're going to protect you. And I said, okay.
Were you in the
That is so brave of this young lady, man. Like, you know how, like, you know, I'm not all too familiar with this, especially coming from, like, it's law enforcement and all that. You know, you kind of don't really expect this side of it. But then when you factor in, you know, the touching of people and, you know, forcing yourself on people in a vulnerable position, like you're literally abusing your power. It's a scary thing for a lot of these people that don't even like dealing with police. You know what I'm saying? They're terrified of police, let alone to have a full-on interaction like that. A lot of people won't come forward. So it makes me think about a lot of the people that do deal with this stuff and they don't say anything.
the same clothes that you have on now?
No. I was
This
into that
lady's
also.
brave.
I was in a sports bra, black sports bra, and then just regular jeans. So, you know, I was, you know, more provocative. You know, it was only right here, and then of course, you know, I guess that's why he. You know, so it's more able to, like, you know, because of this I can't pull it down, or, you know, he was able to just, you know, like, pull my shirt open. But yeah.
What color sports bra?
Black.
And he said the third time he asked to search. Did you tell him okay, or what happened?
Yeah, he said, that's when he said he wasn't going to search my purse, he just wanted to search my body. And at that time I felt like, okay, I wasn't worried about anything, you know. I honestly forgot that baggie was even in there. It didn't have anything anyway, so I wasn't really worried about it. And he was a male officer, so I didn't feel like that he should, that I wouldn't even think that he would have opened my shirt like that to even see anything, you know, so I wasn't worried about anything. So I gave once he said he's not going to look at my purse, I just handed it to him and allowed the search, because I didn't feel like he was going to, like, give up until he got it.
Okay. To help me understand kind of the dynamics, how tall are you?
5'1".
And how tall was he?
He's about, maybe like 5'8".
Describe him for me.
He's native, a little bit heavyset. I see his name is Officer King. I think it was like an L before the King. I'm not sure exactly that part, but King for sure. And he said he had been on the force for 3.5 years.
Oh, that's over with now.
Walk me through the search. So you're leaning up against the vehicle. Kind of walk me through where his hands are and where they're at.
Okay, he started, he asked me to spread my, he said put your hands on the car, I automatically had spread my legs and put my hands on the car. Then he asked me to spread my legs more, and so I did. And then he ran them up and down my legs, but when he got to my butt, he went underneath it. I could feel him touching underneath my butt, and then he went in the front, and his hands were touching my private parts on both sides of my legs.
Okay.
Then he proceeded to, I think my bra neck, my boobs next, and the back, and then he went to my boobs. That's when he exposed my boob. I mean, when I looked down, I could see my boob, and he could too, because he was right here, and that's when I was and then afterwards, then he asked me to lift my hair, so I lifted my hair, and he said okay, and then it was over. Well, that's when he went to this boob, or before the hair, he went to this boob, and then discovered the baggie, and then I think he wanted me to think he was doing me a favor, by not arresting me, but I knew what he was doing was not right. He seen me as an addict. He knew. As soon as he knew where I had been staying previously, he was automatically do you have blues on you? And he knew that I was an addict because the house I stayed in, and I feel like he just, singled me out and knew that he could do whatever he wanted, and either nobody's going to believe me or I wasn't going to say nothing.
The second one for sure.
Nothing, but my boyfriend, made the call, and that's okay.
Shout out W boyfriend. Well, yeah, W boyfriend. The only non-W aspect is just the whole drug using thing. We gotta clean that aspect of it up. Hopefully, she's doing better. I can't see the date, so hopefully enough time has passed to where she cleaned that up.
How long do you think the interaction was?
About 45 minutes. It was a long. Yeah, it was. He said he was bored. He was bored. It was a slow night, and so he just. He had actually had a call to the, he told me to the Dollar General, and that's why he was there, because I did actually see him go into that parking lot first, and I guess that somebody had ran out with some stuff, and they didn't want to pursue it, so he just made contact with them, and then left right away. I'm so sorry.
No,
I don't want to leave this out. Okay, so at one point during our conversation, I don't know what brought it to this, but he, started making a comment about him not being able to have a relationship with people that he's detained or arrested. But he said, and I said, well, how would they, I'm just making conversation. How would they even know? I mean, do they scan all your girlfriends or what? How would they know? And he said, well, look, I don't want to, I don't know how to say this without sounding whatever. He said, if we were just, if me and you were just fucking, they wouldn't even know, but if you were my girlfriend, yeah, they might look at you and stereotype you.
This nigga lame. This nigga is so lame. He has no kind of game whatsoever. that he's sitting there, he's trying to get coochie off an addict, right? And it's not even the whole, oh, she's an addict, he's trying to get coochie. It's he's trying to beat around the bush about it. It's like, bro, you already here, bro. So not only are you going to beat around the bush about it, but you're going to go ahead and try to take it. Like, you, what the fuck? Like, this dude,
and then they would look
lame.
into it. You know, that's what he said. But if we were just fucking, nobody would know.
Did he go on and make any other statements similar to that?
No, not really. That was just all he said about that.
Crazy.
And if you don't remember, that's more than fine. It's understandable. Do you remember whether or not he had used like his phone or his police radio?
No.
Or anything during the time he was with you?
I heard nothing. He used a computer to look me up. And then, but I didn't hear any radio at all or anything going on. And usually you do hear that when off, you know, but there was nothing. There was none at all. In you know, like when he opened my bra and exposed my boobs, like, you know, like that.
Shocking.
I keep replaying it in my mind, and I'm like, that's what he was going for the whole time, was just to be touching me. He didn't care about what was in my purse. He specifically said, I'm not going to search your purse, like, I just want to search your body. So his intentions, everything he was doing, like, I feel like I'm not the first person, because he was doing it, you know, precisely to get to that point where he could, you know, maybe he thought if I had a warrant, he could search me still, you know, like he would get to search me, because I was saying no at first. I was like, no,
There's probably
like,
people that deal with that every day.
Right. And by the end of the search, like, I was like I feel violated, you know, like, I know him running his 2 fingers inside my panty line, like the top of my panties, like, wasn't, like, not right. I've never had that happen. The cops do not do that. He's a male officer. He should never search me anyways, but I have been searched by male officers, and I do believe that it is legal as long as they do it right, you know, and I've never had it happen to where they didn't do it right, so I didn't really, at the end, I knew he wasn't going to stop until he got his stupid search, so I like I said, I had nothing to worry about, I thought, so, you know, I just let him.
Okay.
I didn't know he was going to do all that, but,
How did your guys' interaction end?
So after he had searched me and stuff and informed me, like, you know, he was a nice guy, he wasn't going to send me to jail, blah, blah, blah. But he could, you know, just so I know he could. But he wasn't going to. I'm like, okay, well, he said, I better get to the dollar store because I got to go get my cat food. You know, they're hungry, I need to feed them. And he was like, okay. And then I just got in his car and I left.
After detectives interviewed the victim, it was time to hear
Oh, yes. Yes, we get to see the fuck. Oh, I want to hear it out of his face.
the officer's side of the story. The officer appeared extremely nervous, fully aware of the seriousness of the situation.
This is criminal, and all I do is criminal investigations. This is our on-body recording device, just to let you know we're both required to have them on.
And what's your name again?
Lieutenant Christensen, I'm with the Special Victims Section. So we investigate sexual assaults, crimes against children, child exploitation, and so forth.
Yes.
The reason why we're here today is because of an allegation that was made against you, reference an incident last 6 p.m. at the Dollar General store.
Okay.
Okay? What we have here is we have an actual victim that has alleged that there was a sexual contact that was made. At this time, we would love to hear your side of the story and figure out what actually took place. You have the right to an attorney. You have the right to an attorney. Miranda will be read.
Okay.
And you have the right to a union representative as well. I'm Justin Winger, I'm the acting sergeant for the sex crimes unit.
Yes.
And yeah, so if you'd like to speak with us, you know, like you said, you don't have to have a union rep here when you don't want to.
Yes.
If you decide that you do want to have a union rep or an attorney here, just let us know. Won't ask you any questions or anything.
Okay.
If you do want to talk to us, then I'll just provide you your constitutional rights per Miranda. Do you want to talk with us now?
So I'd like to be read Miranda. Just because it feels like I am being detained right now, and I'm not free to leave.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'd like to be read Miranda. I mean, I would like to explain myself and talk to you guys. But at this time, I would like to be read Miranda.
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely. So you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that, right?
Yes.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a
Wait,
court.
so why does he want to
Understand that,
talk?
right? You have the right to an attorney and to have him or her present before or during any questioning if you wish. Do you understand that, right?
Yes.
If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you free of charge before or during any questioning if you wish. Do you understand that,
Yes.
right? Okay, you can decide to exercise these rights at any time and not to answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand that, right?
Yes.
Do you understand each of those rights as I listed them out to you?
Yes.
Okay, and having these rights in mind, you agree to speak with us now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so what we're here for is basically to have your side of
Yes.
what took place and kind of give us additional information.
Okay.
So starting yesterday with the Dollar General call for service, tell me about the rest of your evening.
So I cleared the call for service.
Fucking liar! He's a fucking liar! He's a fucking liar! He's fucking lying! You fucking liar! I'm sorry.
And I began driving, I want to say, south on Monroe, and I seen a female sitting on the curb, on the
He's
southwest
nervous.
side of the church, I think it is. I called out with an on-site, and I turned around, and I parked, and I was like, it was a consensual encounter. I got out and I asked her if she wanted a cigarette. She said yes, and we started talking. I recognized her, and obviously I see a lot of people every day. I thought she might have been somebody with a possible warrant. So like I said, it was just a consensual encounter, and I began talking to her. She was acting very fidgety, and as I was talking with her, she brought up a female that I've encountered prior named Kimberly. Just a previous call for service. And she said Kimberly calls me her boyfriend or whatever. I'm really
Yo, he's really doing that every
not sure
time.
why. And I asked if I could search her. She said yes. And as I was searching her, I did the regular searches as they taught us in the academy. The left side.
Boy, they did not teach you to fucking sit there and play with somebody like that. You sitting there lying. I'm not no motherfucking police officer. I'm not no law enforcement officer. But I know good damn well that in the academy, they do not teach you to go up and touch up on somebody like that. You are a fucking liar, sir.
Side first, search the legs, search the breast area with the back of my hand, and as I was doing that, I seen money in a bag inside her bra. And I was like, what is that? And she's like, oh, and she pulled it out, and it didn't look like anything at all. I just kind of told her like, hey, like, this is enough to arrest you on. I was lying at the time, just to try to get some information about her from possible sellers in the area. I asked her if I could continue searching. She said yes. I went to the other side. I used the back of my hand and went along her bra line, and I kind of peeked over to see if she had any other narcotics in her bra line.
This guy's amazing,
and I
bro.
went along to pull the top of the bra line from the front, and then pulled it back, so that way I can, just to see if I can glance to see a little more if she had any other bags on her at all. And as I got done, like, I used my back of my hand searching inside of her leg, and I told her I would be using the back of my hand search inside of your leg up to your thigh line, and I did that. And at that time, I believe I know what this is about. She said, I don't think that's the way you're supposed to search. And I said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And as I backed away, I was kind of backed up toward my car. And I looked down and I realized my OBRD was off. And instead of turning it on, I knew I was going to get an IA just for failure to activate my on-body recording device. So I told her hey, this is enough to arrest you on, which it wasn't. There was nothing in the bag. And I told her, like, hey, I'll make you a deal. I won't arrest you. I won't arrest you as long as you, next time I see
Hell
you,
no, he's not
you
truthful.
know, be nice and give me some information about some possible sellers. And that was pretty much it. But I do kind of know what this is about, because she said, I don't think this is the way you're supposed to search people. But I didn't make any sexual advances toward her at all.
No, I lying.
Nothing like that.
Oh, he's stumped.
I should have activated my own body recording device, but I didn't realize it in the time. I didn't touch anything under clothing. I didn't grasp anything over the clothing. I didn't intentionally try to touch anything. I used the back of my hand and I searched her bra line, and then I used both hands to pull the strap of the bra to possibly see if she was hiding any actual narcotics. And I didn't realize till after the fact.
He's tripling down.
And I told her, as long as she's nice to me next time and possibly gives me information, I won't arrest her, but I didn't have any criminal charges at that time.
It's not looking good.
The good news is it's very similar to what the allegations are. So you're fully aware of what she's claiming. Tell me more about you pulling the strap. Describe to me what she was wearing.
She was wearing a black, like,
Oh, he remember
crop
that.
top, and she was wearing I don't know what color bra, but she was wearing a bra underneath that crop top, and she was wearing jeans. And on the left side, like I said, when I was searching her, as when I moved her bra line up, I seen money and then a bag. When I kind of went up like the way they taught us in the academy.
Like the way they taught
And I
us.
did the same thing on the other side, and I couldn't see anything, so I used my.
You know, like the way they taught us in the academy, you know, was just to make sure you grab firmly, right? Just make sure they got both their hands on the fucking car and don't even wait for their fucking permission? Fuck that. Just grab one, then the other. That's how they taught us in the academy. Make sure you grab both and don't even think twice about it.
And this is the bra strap, and I went like this. I pulled forward and then back, like forward and then back. And I will
That doesn't make sense to me.
be
I'm sorry.
completely honest with you guys. I have nothing to hide. That her nipple did come out for a second, but I did not touch it. And she pulled both hands to grasp. And
What?
She said, I don't think this is the way you're supposed to search people. But I did not touch her breast. I used the back of my hand that's the closest I ever got to touching her breast, was with the back of my hand, searching her bra line. I did not intend to show her nipple. I did not reach inside her bra at all to try to cup her breasts. I did not perform any criminal sexual contact at all on her, and I should have turned on my camera, but I didn't realize it until after.
I wish I could see his reaction to when they're watching the body cam.
To your search. Tell me more about the search of her lower extremities.
So after I told her I'll use the back of my hand to search the inside of your leg. So I used the back of my hand, and I went up to where her I guess her thigh line right here. I don't search them correctly, and I've missed, like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, I missed 53 fentanyl pills on a male. He had it stuffed inside his crotch. So since then, I've tried to search people a little better, and I went up to the back of her leg. I did not up to in here. I went through and I pulled back. That's on both sides. I did that.
That boy lying.
Okay.
And if you're asking if I touched her vagina at all, I don't think I did.
This dude is just cooking himself. Sunny side fucking up. This dude is 1,000 ways to die. Like they're not even asking him the accusations. He's just being upfront about it. He's like gonna soften the blow. But it's like, bro, you're confirming everything. She
You're
probably
asking
gonna
if
write
I
it down on her little book.
Touched her vagina at all? I don't think I did. Like I said,
Her
I did
vagina.
not touch her vagina. I went up at the back of my
Yeah, this dude don't get nothing, bro. He calls it the vagina.
hand, searched the inside of her leg.
Yeah,
In
you.
backwards motion. I did not use the front of my hand. I used the back of my hand like the way they taught us in the academy.
Okay. And did you search any other parts of her body?
Yes, I searched her belt line.
Okay.
I pulled her belt line and I pulled it around, just to see if there was any strings holding on to her belt loops at all. But I did not reach inside her pants at all. I didn't do any of that. I simply used my 2 fingers and pulled it around her pants.
So, you stated earlier in your statement that you knew her of another person?
I thought I knew her.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
So I thought I knew her.
You said you did.
Like I said, seen a lot of people around
He's
the city.
stumped.
I recognize a lot of people that I arrest, and I thought I knew her through there. But after she gave me her name and all that, I didn't find any reports that I've written on her.
Tell me more about, gave her name. How did you find out her name?
I just asked her. I was like, "Hey, do you possibly have any warrants?" And she said no. And then I told her she wasn't in trouble. She wasn't detained. Like I said, I made sure she realized it was a consensual encounter. And I was very lax with her. I just asked, like, "Do you want me to check?" And she said yes. So I got into my car, and she just stood there. Like I said, I didn't put her in any position of disadvantage or anything like that. And I just ran her.
Where was she standing?
She was, I was sitting in my car, door was open, and she was about standing where that guy is.
Okay. And what was her mannerism?
She was just standing, smoking a cigarette.
Okay. The cigarette you provided?
Yes.
Okay. And was there any warrants out for her?
Yes, but it was non-extraditable.
Do you recall where from?
Sandoval County, I believe.
Do you know what it was for?
No, I don't know.
Okay. So what happened?
Oh.
Go ahead.
Possession, I believe, of paraphernalia.
So what happened? So she's standing right here. You get the actual call back or the information back. She has a warrant, but you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Where do we go from there?
I mean, I just thought I'd get her permission to search and see if she had any narcotics on her.
Okay.
Bruh, he low-key was planning this out for real. Like, just every time they ask him a question, y'all realize he left the he left that shit alone a while ago. Cause it's like he jumped off into the deep end. He's like, fuck it. I'm gonna ball out. I'm gonna go out swinging. But like everything that she's asking now, he has like some sort of rebuttal for. But it still is just validating everything that they're claiming.
Walk me through your mindset as far as that process.
So I've done this quite a bit. I mean, I'll talk to people as a consensual encounter and just see if they have new warrants, if they're willing to, without being forced to, give me their identification. And when they don't have any warrants, I just try to see if I can talk my way into a consensual search. I can consent to search, just to see if they have any other narcotics on them. I've had pretty good success with it.
And when you finally was able to get the search for the blues, what happened?
Just like I told you in the beginning, like I explained to you how I searched.
Tell me where she was.
She standing toward my vehicle, and I didn't grab her hands at all. She placed them up on the vehicle. And she's like, "Is this good?" As I just said, "Yeah."
Just gonna-
So really quick, I just
what's y'all cut off?
no offense, I'm like looking at.
You're, at this time, you're being investigated for criminal sexual contact, which is a felony, and false imprisonment.
Okay.
Okay, so what we have here is we're trying to understand the purpose of the stop and the legal aspect of why we conducted a search. Can you help me to understand where the legal concept comes from to conduct a search?
So, like I said, it was a consensual encounter.
Okay,
I made sure not to put her in a position of disadvantage. That way she would feel like she is being detained at all. And I explained to her that she's not in any trouble and she's not being detained at all. I was just bored looking at
We
the
trying to
area.
clean it up.
And I made sure for her to feel like she wasn't being detained.
Damage control.
And I'll explain that a little bit.
thank you. Saw the look of confusion. Thank you.
I got out of my vehicle, I asked her if she wanted a cigarette as she was walking away. She said yes. And I got out of my car and I told her, like, "You're not being detained at all. I'm just bored. It's a hot day. And I just wanted to come talk to you for a minute."
And let me touch your boobies.
And I didn't place her in handcuffs at all. I didn't sit her down on the curb so that way she feel like she could not leave. Like I said, it was just a simple consensual encounter, and I never told her she was detained at all. And I tried to make her feel like she wasn't being detained. I didn't put her in a spot where she
does that
feels
even
like she
mean?
couldn't leave if she wanted to, I feel.
Okay, and then, so,
Yeah,
and,
just to see if, because like I said, when I pushed up on this side to go search the bra line, the piece of the bag poked up from her bra.
and the baggie, and what did you do with the baggie?
I threw it away. There was really nothing in it. I threw it away at the canine pumps.
Okay,
But I didn't see anything in it at all. I just told her, like, "Hey, this is enough to test. This is enough to arrest." And she was like, "Just that little bit?" And I said, "Yeah, like I was lying, just so that way I can see if she can possibly, give me like some information on dealers or whatever." But I didn't have any criminal charges on her at all.
and pulling the top part of the bra, was that part of the trainings that you received?
No,
Okay.
I don't believe so. No.
Exposing the breasts,
So-
is that,
No, the only reason why I did that, I didn't mean to expose the breast. I did that to see if I can possibly locate like a piece of baggie, because she had the baggie in the left breast side of this, and I just wanted to see if I can possibly see another bag.
Bro.
so, listening to your side, I mean, at this point,
How do people like this become police officers? Like, it's people like this that get on the force every fucking day.
I'm thinking if I was you, okay, that went a little bit further than I intended, that's not what I kind of intended for it to happen. She makes a comment that you said that's not how a search.
She said that's not how. She said, "I don't think that's how a search is supposed to be," and I apologized. I said, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that."
Okay, and how does she take that?
She laughs, and I think, she laughs, and then I just told her, like,
She laughed?
"Hey,"
Yeah, you're done.
She laughs, and then I backed away. I went to like the front of my car. She was still standing in the same spot, and I just told her, like, this is enough to arrest you on, like, and I want you to know that that this is enough to arrest you on, and I'm choosing not to arrest you. I just want you to, like, who's selling the meth in the area.
So everything you say, how you said it, it's all going to be captured, documented. Unless you have any other questions for us, I'll escort you out. But we're not going to ask you any other questions.
Escort.
The officer was arrested and charged with false imprisonment, violation of ethical principles of public service, and a few other serious felonies. 17 months later, he was charged, and while the case was still pending, the officer was still allowed to work before eventually being
What?
placed on administrative leave. The case is still ongoing, but let us know. Who do you believe? Do you think the officer was telling the
Okay, so this one is an interesting case. I think just based on the seriousness of the allegations, you have to take it into consideration for what happened to that young lady. She described it to a T, and what makes it damning is the officer's stories. They line up pretty quick. At least one of the things that he did that a lot of the criminals do when we watch these body cams, they lie. Like, yeah, he lying. He just trying to feed him a little here and there, but he definitely lying and stuff. It's an unfortunate case. Like, getting arrested or something like that, it's not an everyday occurrence, I would say. But in some places, a lot of these people, they deal with law enforcement on a regular basis. So something like this is very real. It can happen to somebody that you care about, or even it can happen to yourself. So, nephew, I hope it's not past your curfew. Nisi, be easy. Take care.